Have you ever looked in the mirror and whispered, "This can't be it. This job, this routine, this life. What if I told you it isn't, that the reality you're stuck in was never your choice to begin with, and more importantly, that you can change it completely, not by chasing motivation, but by understanding the invisible code that runs your life?" What you're about to hear isn't just theory, it's a real story. And if you listen till the end, you won't see your world the same way again. There comes a moment in your life when something breaks the pattern. You hear it, not a shout, not a command, just a quiet signal, subtle but stubborn, a whisper beneath the chaos, a knowing, a glitch in the system whispering, "This isn't it." Maybe it started when you asked yourself, "Is this really what life is?" Maybe it was that night, 2:47 a.m., when the silence was louder than your thoughts. Or maybe it came as a gut punch in the middle of a Zoom meeting, when you suddenly couldn't remember what your job even meant. This sensation has a name: existential dissonance, the deep discomfort between what you're doing and what you know you're meant for. I've lived that moment. I've sat at a dinner table surrounded by people and felt more alone than in an empty room. I've chased achievements, diplomas, promotions, praise, and still felt hollow the next morning. I wasn't broken, I was awakening. Most people ignore the signal. They drown it in deadlines, mute it with Netflix, scroll past it. But you're here, watching this, which means you heard it too, and that changes everything. Psychologist Abraham Maslow once said, "What is necessary to change a person is to change his awareness of himself." Pause this video, seriously, just for a moment. Take a deep breath. Now ask yourself this: what part of my life feels most misaligned? Say it out loud. No judgment, just name it. That's the doorway. That's where your signal lives. Welcome to Chapter 1, where your real story begins. What if the systems meant to make us happy were never built for happiness at all? What if misery isn't a glitch, but the result of designs that optimize for efficiency, not meaning? We're told there's a path: good grades, college, job, marriage, house, promotion, retirement, then happiness. But millions followed that path and still woke up empty. I was one of them. I hit the milestones, got the applause, but inside, I was fading, like I was wearing someone else's life. Research now proves it. Achieving goals without alignment leads to burnout, depression, disconnection. So ask yourself, whose script are you following? If it's not yours, rewrite it. List 3 things you've always wanted to do, but told yourself you couldn't. What if those were the real blueprint? Familiar doesn't mean right. The design of meaning, that's yours to build, brick by brick. Most people measure life in years, but the real currencies of transformation are time, energy, and attention. And right now, you're being robbed blind without even noticing. A 2023 McKinsey report says the average adult makes 35,000 decisions a day, but 93% are unconscious, driven by habit or distraction. I get it. You're exhausted, not just physically, soul tired. You set goals. You try to change. Then, nothing. Not because you're lazy, but because you're leaking. Fragments of yourself given away to things that don't deserve your power. Neuroscientist Andrew Huberman explains, every decision drains mental energy. Distraction isn't harmless, it's biochemical theft. They taught us to budget money, but not our life force. No class told you how to protect your energy. No app warns, you just gave 4 hours of your sacred life to someone else's dopamine farm. So try this, check your screen time. Find the app that drains you most. Uninstall it for 24 hours. Then ask yourself, what could I create with this reclaimed energy? Time is the river, energy is the paddle, and attention, that's the direction. You're not lost, you're just misdirected. But the moment you turn toward your own compass, everything starts to change. You've been living inside a story, one written by someone else, told to you through childhood conditioning, societal scripts, and invisible expectations. But what if that story was a lie? A Stanford study found most people make life-altering decisions based on identity labels formed before age 12. Maybe you were called too emotional, too intense, too weird. Maybe you learned to shrink, to please, to obey. Now you're in a life that doesn't feel like yours, a body that doesn't feel like home. But identity isn't fixed. It's fluid, it's alchemy, and you're the alchemist, the one who gets to rewrite the code. Dr. Joe Dispenza said, "When you change your thoughts, you change your chemistry. When you change your beliefs, you change your reality." So write down 3 labels you were given growing up that still limit you. Now flip them. Too sensitive becomes deeply intuitive. Too loud becomes unapologetically expressive. They were never flaws. They were buried superpowers. A 2021 study showed that identity reframing increases long-term change by 38%. So yes, it works. You weren't meant to fit in. You were meant to awaken. The old stories? They're not your prison. They're your compost. Fertile ground for rebirth. So begin. Write your new name. Speak your new truth. Not the version they trained you to be, the version that sets your soul on fire. What if the future isn't a destination, but a memory, one you've forgotten to remember? Quantum physicist David Bohm believed time is enfolded, past, present, and future, coexisting in a deeper order. And sometimes your soul whispers, dejavu, vivid dreams, moments that feel more like reminders than imagination. That's not fantasy. That's your encoded timeline, the version of you that already exists. According to Dr. Michael Newton, many people under hypnosis describe planning their life before birth. Not fate, but intention. You don't hustle to create your best life. You align with it. You remember it. Like tuning a radio, the frequency is already there. Your job is to clear the static. Close your eyes. See the version of you who already made it. Where are they? How do they move? What decisions did they make today that you're avoiding? Write one of those actions down. Now take it in the next 24 hours. A 2022 psychology study showed people who visualized their future self increased real-world goal success by 47%. You've seen the vision. Now comes the vow. To stop living by default, to stop recycling regret, and to walk every day toward the you who's already waiting on the other side of doubt. This isn't chasing life. It's remembering who you were always meant to be. You were meant to awaken boldly. And now that you see the illusion, you can choose the truth. Curious for more? Dive into our playlist and discover a world of content. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned.